Welcome back. As we said earlier, we are going to speak about the vaccination campaigns here in Egypt and its developments, and about also the Egyptian vaccine, as we started already the clinical trials. To shed more light on this, we are very much delighted to have with us via phone Professor Dr. Mohmed Awad, the Presidential Advisor for Health Affairs. A very good morning to you, sir.
Good morning. Thank you very much for your kind invitation.
Thank you, sir. Sir, more than 40 million Egyptians received their first dose of the vaccine. More than 17 million received the 2 doses. And His Excellency, Minister of Higher Education and Acting Minister of Health, Dr. Khaled Abdel Ghaffar, also announced that we are going to have centers for vaccination in some of our metro stations, in some malls, and we are going on with the campaign. How do you see the development, and are you satisfied with the number of the citizens who already had at least their first shot till the moment?
Actually, thank you very much for the kind invitation. And our plan is to vaccinate about 40 million Egyptians by the end of this year. I mean, by the end of next month. Now, we have a marked improvement in the campaign with vaccination. As you mentioned, we have a very good number of people vaccinated, either with the first or the second dose. And now there is progression of the campaign with increase in the number of the centers for vaccination and the acceptance of all Egyptians to take the vaccine.
Yeah.
And now, by the recommendation of the government, that there is nobody will enter his job, especially in the areas of services, except if he is already vaccinated, and the same is also applicable for the universities, for the schools, etc. I think this was a very good step to reach our goal to vaccinate about 40 million.
Yeah. Professor Tajuddin, you know, it's now the whole world is a small village, and people are just eager to see or to know why there are many European countries, despite their vaccination campaigns, are now suffering a resurge in the COVID-19 pandemic, and to suffer a new wave, it's catastrophic. We see people rallying in the streets in Austria, in Germany, in many of the European countries against lockdowns, also because of the COVID. Why there is a surge?
Because, as you know, the vaccine is not a solid immunity. The vaccine can protect from the severity of infection, can prevent the complications of the disease, can prevent in a higher percent of population the admission to the hospitals or the intensive care units or the mechanical ventilation. But as I mentioned before, the protective measures, which is already applicable in Egypt, is very important against the disease. So that it is one arm, the vaccine is one arm for protection, but the other measures, the other protective measures are very important.
Yes,
so
sure.
That's why we already recommend to reach our goal by application of both the protective measures and the vaccination.
Now, on the other side of the coin, sir, you would find millions of citizens who are just wondering when and how the booster shot is going to be given, and if we are going to have priorities. Which sects of the society are going to be the first priority or the main goal of the booster shot?
This is a very important question, because I mentioned before that the vaccine is not solid immunity, as I mentioned just now. This is one part, and the other point that the vaccine, its effect may be between 6 to 9 months. So that for 6 to 9 months you need either to be revaccinated or to take the booster shot. So that's recommended scientifically to take the booster shot. After we finish our goal to vaccinate, as I mentioned to you, 40 million people, the priority, we will start our priority again with the medical professionals, with the medical teams, and then the seniors, all the ages, and then patients with chronic diseases like hypertension, diabetes, cancer, etc., in priority manner, and then we proceed to vaccinate by the third dose the other members of the community.
And the booster shot should be of the very same vaccine I've taken before. I mean, if I had
not the same vaccine. If you receive one dose from vaccine and this type of vaccine needs another dose, it must be from the same vaccine. But the booster dose, you can receive any other types of available vaccines. And as you know, all vaccines, all internationally recommended and accepted vaccines are already present in Egypt.
Sir, we already started the clinical trials on our vaccine. Would you please elaborate on that and when we are going to depend mainly on our vaccine?
It's not absolutely to depend on one vaccine, but now for any registration of any new drug or new vaccine, we have many phases so that we ended the laboratory phase and the animal trial phase, and then we will go to the bedside clinical trial for human being for the vaccine. And when this vaccine is already finished all the stages, it will be recommended by the administration for pharmaceuticals in Egypt, the national one, and then we will go to produce the vaccine in our laboratories.
Yeah. Sir, we also all heard or read even about the pill which was produced by mega international pharmaceutical companies, and there are some very optimistic news saying that the COVID-19 is going to end as any kind of flu, which is going to be treated by only a pill. True or false?
Because the coronavirus vaccine, coronavirus is one of the respiratory viruses, we know that. It's not new for us. But the new is a new strain of coronavirus, new one which is recorded in 2019. But after that, all of the viruses would be endemic all over the world, and it will be just like the influenza vaccine seasonal virus, which would be endemic in the community.
This was my coming question, sir, regarding the variants of the coronavirus. It seems endless.
This is not new. We know that because any virus or even the bacteria, it makes a sort of mutation to be viable and to invade its target by invading the respiratory system of the human being or the animals, so that for the mutants or the new generations from the viruses, it is well known, which is one of the characteristic features of any virus.
Yeah.
But up till now, which is a very important point, up till now, the vaccine is effective against the strains, and the medication is effective, and the clinical picture of the disease is not markedly different from the beginning of the pandemic.
Sir, one final question regarding the winter, and as you see, it seems that we are going to enjoy our winter season and the academic year. Two main things in the hearts and minds of all people, of the parents for their students, whether in schools or universities. The winter, is it going to come with a new wave? I mean, the falling the temperatures is going to be one of the reasons behind a resurge of COVID-19, and if so, what students should do?
Up till now, there is two types of viral infection common: the coronavirus infection and the seasonal influenza virus. Both of the viruses are respiratory viruses, as I mentioned, so that the symptoms of both diseases are very similar. So that we must be very cautious, because each one, either the coronavirus infection or the influenza viral infection, both are respiratory viruses with the same manifestations, and the most important point, both of them are infectious. So that we must take our care and to proceed to take our protective measures, whatever the cause of this virus, and you must consult your physician to give you the guidelines for the management to avoid any complications.
Professor Dr. Awad Tajuddin, the Presidential Advisor for Health Affairs, thank you very much for your input, sir. Your input, sir. You're always an added value to our screen. Have a very good day. And by this we come to the end of the breakfast show of today. Tomorrow is another episode and another crew. You were in the company of my dear colleague Amal Mukhtar and myself Nurmeen Abdurrahman. For more details, please log on to www.nileinternational.net. Many thanks for watching. It's goodbye for now.